You know what your problem is?
I ain't got no problem, man. Don't tell me. Don't tell me what my problem is. I don't care about it.
The Love and Hip Hop Atlanta universe just exploded. And this time, it's bigger than any fight, bigger than any cheating scandal, bigger than anything we've seen before. Lil Scrappy, one of the OG faces of the show, has officially been fired after a heated confrontation with Khaotic spiraled so far out of control. Producers had no choice but to cut ties. Cameras caught every second of the drama, the insults, the threats, and the moment that changed Scrappy's career forever. Fans are calling it the end of an era, while others say Scrappy's downfall was long overdue. But trust me, the real story behind his firing is messier, darker, and more shocking than anyone realizes. From behind-the-scenes chaos to secret producer meetings and cast reactions that left fans speechless. This is the scandal that will shake Love and Hip Hop Atlanta to its core. And the craziest part? We're only scratching the surface. Part 1. The beginning of the end. Scrappy versus Khaotic, the moment Love and Hip Hop Atlanta launched. Lil Scrappy carved out his place as one of the most iconic, unpredictable, and entertaining cast members. Fans loved him for his raw honesty, fiery temper, and that no-filter energy that made every scene with him must-watch. It's TV. Whether it was his turbulent romance with Erica Dixon, his complicated dynamic with Bambi, or his roller coaster career in hip-hop, Scrappy always brought drama that kept fans glued to the screen. But this time, things went way too far. It all started with what should have been a simple disagreement between Scrappy and Khaotic. A fellow cast member known for his loud mouth and larger-than-life personality, Khaotic had always been the type to stir the pot, pushing buttons and throwing shade just to see how people would react. And Scrappy, he was the exact wrong person to poke. Everyone on set knew Scrappy had a short fuse, but nobody expected what was about to happen next. Sources from behind the scenes claimed the fight started over something minor, a joke about Scrappy's. Music that quickly escalated into insults flying left and right. What was supposed to be playful banter turned into a full-on screaming match, with both men refusing to back down. Scrappy allegedly told producers before filming that he wasn't in the mood for games. But once the cameras were rolling, Khaotic couldn't resist turning up the heat. According to insiders, Khaotic leaned in and called Scrappy washed up, accusing him of clinging to the show for relevance. That was the spark that lit the fuse. Scrappy stood up, his face red with anger, and suddenly the energy in the room shifted from tense to terrifying. Cast members like Rashida and Yandi reportedly tried to calm things down, but Scrappy wasn't hearing it. His voice rose, his threats got sharper, and the vibe turned so hostile that even security had to step in. One crew member later revealed it wasn't just another fight. We've seen arguments on this show all the time, but this was different. The way Scrappy looked at Khaotic, it was like he meant every single word. You could feel the danger in the room. The threats Scrappy made were so intense that producers immediately flagged the incident. Love and Hip Hop thrives on drama. But there are lines you can't cross, and Scrappy crossed every single one of them that day. Instead of being just another on-camera spat, this moment turned into a real-life safety concern. The footage was reportedly reviewed by the network executives, who were horrified by how bad it looked. Fans expect chaos, but this was beyond entertainment. This was personal, this was violent, and this was something that could damage the entire franchise. Insiders say meetings were held within hours, and Scrappy's fate on the show was already being decided before the dust even settled. Meanwhile, Khaotic played the moment. Cool. Though shaken, he later told producers that he wasn't going to back down from Scrappy, but made it clear he didn't want to be portrayed as the victim. That's when fans began to split. Some accused Khaotic of instigating the fight just to push Scrappy out, while others argued Scrappy had no excuse for taking things that far. And let's not forget, Scrappy's history with Love and Hip Hop has been complicated from day one. He's had public fallouts with Erica Dixon, messy drama with Bambi, and a rocky path in his music career. The show gave him a platform to shine, but it also exposed his temper in ways that sometimes worked against him. And this time, his temper wasn't just a storyline. It was a breaking point. The scariest part. According to someone close to production, there were whispers that this wasn't the first time Scrappy had lost control off camera. Some crew members had allegedly raised concerns about his behavior before, but producers brushed it off as just Scrappy being Scrappy. This fight, however, left them no choice but to act when word got out that Scrappy might be fired. The entire cast was stunned. Rashida reportedly told someone on set, "I can't believe it's come to this. He's been here since the start. Without him, it's not even the same show, Yandi." On the other hand, wasn't as forgiving, allegedly saying Scrappy had to own his actions and face the consequences. Fans, of course, didn't stay silent. As news of the blow-up leaked online, Twitter and Instagram exploded. Hashtags like #FireScrappy and #ProtectKHAOTIC started trending, while some die-hard Scrappy fans begged the network to reconsider. But others weren't as sympathetic. One viral comment read, "Scrappy's been messy for years. This ain't new. The only difference is now the producers finally had enough." But here's where it gets even. Wilder insiders claim the producers might have saved this footage for a dramatic reveal later in the season. Imagine that, Scrappy's firing playing out in real time, with fans watching his downfall unfold on camera. If true, it could be one of the most explosive storylines in Love and Hip Hop history. Yet, behind the scenes, Scrappy's world was falling apart. Losing the show meant losing not just fame, but money, influence, and the stability that came with being a reality TV star. Sources say Scrappy went quiet after the incident, avoiding interviews and social media posts while he tried to figure out his next move. But as one insider put it, this isn't just about Scrappy losing a job. This is about a man who's been defined by his anger, and now that anger cost him everything. And the craziest part? This was only the beginning. The deeper you look into what really went down that day, the more shocking the truth becomes. Because while Scrappy may have been the one fired, whispers say Khaotic wasn't completely innocent either. The fight between Lil Scrappy and Khaotic wasn't just another moment of reality TV drama. This wasn't two men throwing shade and laughing about it later. This was serious, tense, and threatening in a way that shook everyone on set. The moment Scrappy's voice turned cold and those threats left his lips, the entire energy in the room flipped. For years, producers had danced on the razor's edge of chaos, encouraging cast members to bring the heat while carefully keeping things under control. But this time, the line wasn't just crossed, it was obliterated, and the fallout didn't stop there. Word spread quickly among the cast and the reactions were explosive. Some sided with Scrappy, furious that the network had pulled the trigger so fast. Erica Dixon allegedly said, "They know Scrappy. They know how he is. They made him this way on TV, and now they want to act like they're surprised." Others, however, breathed a sigh of relief. One cast member privately admitted, "We were scared. That wasn't a scene anymore. That was real. And real could have gotten someone hurt." Fans didn't have to wait long for the rumors to hit social media. Within hours of Scrappy's firing, gossip pages lit up with headlines. Some blogs claimed producers were holding back footage to use as a bombshell mid-season. Others said Scrappy's final scene had been completely scrapped to protect the show's image. Hashtags like #ScrappyFired, #LHHATL drama, and #KHAOTICVs Scrappy began trending overnight. But while fans argued online, Scrappy went dark. No Instagram rants, no Twitter meltdowns, no interviews. For a man who thrived on the spotlight, his silence spoke louder than words. Insiders whispered that he was devastated, embarrassed, and furious all at once. The man who had built his brand on being untouchable had just been cut loose, and everyone knew it. The most shocking twist: some sources claim Scrappy had already been on thin ice before the Khaotic incident. Executives had reportedly been worried about his temper for months, and this confrontation was simply the final straw. One producer allegedly revealed, "We were already considering phasing him out. This just made the decision faster." But while the network celebrated avoiding a scandal, fans weren't done. Many felt betrayed, claiming the show had used up Scrappy for ratings before throwing him away when things got too real. Others demanded to see the unedited footage, convinced there was more to the story than producers wanted the public to know. And here's where the cliffhanger comes in, because according to leaked whispers from set insiders, there is more to the story. Some say the producers might air the explosive fight in a heavily edited version, saving Scrappy's downfall as a ratings weapon. Others claim Khaotic may have played a bigger role in provoking Scrappy than the network wants to admit. Could it be that Scrappy's firing was less about safety and more about a power move to protect the show's image? One thing's for sure, Scrappy's journey with Love and Hip Hop Atlanta didn't end quietly. It ended with a storm, and fans are still demanding answers about what really went down that day. The firing of Lil Scrappy didn't just rattle the cast and the producers. It detonated across social media like a bomb. Fans who had grown up watching Scrappy's rise on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta couldn't believe what they were reading. For over a decade, Scrappy had been a staple of the franchise. A messy yet lovable character who brought fire to every scene. The news that he had been cut, not for a fight but for a threat, stunned the fan base into chaos. Within hours, Twitter turned into a battlefield. Half the timeline defended Scrappy, claiming he was baited into his outburst. The other half demanded accountability, arguing the network was right to finally take a stand against violence. Hashtags like #JusticeForScrappy, #ScrappyFired, and #KHAOTIC started it, began trending worldwide. One fan tweeted, "Y'all act like Scrappy didn't give this show years. Khaotic came in 2 seasons ago and stirred up mess. Scrappy reacted and now he's the villain. Nah." Another clapped back. "Threats aren't entertainment. Scrappy been reckless for too long. About time he faced real consequences." The arguments grew nastier by the minute. People began dragging up old clips of Scrappy's fights with Stevie J, clashes with Erica Dixon, even the infamous Rashida drama. Others pointed out that Khaotic himself wasn't innocent. His history of stirring the pot was well documented. Memes flooded Instagram, with one viral post showing Khaotic smirking with the caption, "Mission accomplished." But the real explosion happened when unseen footage began leaking online. At first, it was just whispers, fan pages posting cryptic hints that someone from production had slipped them clips. Then came a 14-second video snippet that turned the fandom upside down. The shaky behind-the-scenes footage showed Scrappy pacing, his voice raised, yelling, "You don't know who you playing with. I'll show you better than I can tell you." Fans were stunned. The words weren't just heated, they sounded like a promise. And that's exactly why producers acted so quickly. Still, many defended him, arguing Khaotic must have said something vile off-camera to push Scrappy to that point. And here's where things got even messier. But then came the jaw-dropping part. A leaked HR document that allegedly detailed complaints filed against Scrappy over the last year. The document, which quickly went viral on Twitter, claimed multiple staff members had reported feeling unsafe around him during heated moments. One line that sent fans spiraling read, "Mr. Richardson Scrappy threatened to flip a production table after a scheduling dispute, whether the document was authentic or fabricated." The damage was done. Blogs ran with it. Headlines screamed about Scrappy's pattern of aggression, and suddenly the conversation wasn't about one fight. It was about whether he had been a ticking time bomb all along at the same time. Rumors swirled that Khaotic himself had played a role in pushing producers to finally cut Scrappy loose. A fan account claimed to have overheard Khaotic bragging at a nightclub saying, "I told them either he go or I go." Guess who they chose? While unverified, the quote spread like wildfire. The idea that Khaotic had won behind the scenes enraged Scrappy's loyal supporters, who accused him of scheming for Scrappy's spot. Then came Erica Dixon once again, stepping into the storm with another emotional live stream. Fighting back tears, she said, "Y'all can believe whatever papers they want to leak. But let me tell you something. Scrappy ain't perfect, but he ain't no monster. They've been painting him that way because they know he's too real for their fake." storylines. Her words ignited another wave of sympathy, with fans demanding fairness. But the biggest escalation was still to come. And it came in the form of audio leaks. Out of nowhere, a gossip site released what they claimed were recordings of Scrappy arguing with producers off camera. In one clip, you can hear Scrappy's voice shouting, "I ain't no puppet for y'all. I ain't finna do no fake scene to save somebody else's storyline." In another, he allegedly slammed the network for trying to phase him out, while giving newcomers like Khaotic more shine. The recording shook the fandom to its core. For some, it painted Scrappy as defiant, someone who refused to be controlled, a hero standing up to manufactured drama. For others, it made him look unstable, unwilling to play by the rules of the show he signed up for. And then, the final bombshell dropped. A blog known for industry leaks claimed that Scrappy's firing was actually part of a larger network shakeup. According to their sources, executives wanted to shift Love and Hip Hop Atlanta in a younger, fresher direction, cutting long-standing cast members and spotlighting rising stars. Scrappy, being one of the originals, was already on the chopping block. The fight with Khaotic simply accelerated the timeline. That revelation hit fans like a ton of bricks. Was Scrappy's downfall truly about threats? Or was it just convenient timing for a network already eager to replace him? Do with threats, and more to do with him refusing to film a specific storyline producers wanted. One particularly chilling tweet read, "They wanted him to fake a cheating scandal this season. He said no. Now look what happened." That theory gained traction quickly, especially after Erica hinted that producers had pressured Scrappy into certain narratives before. Fans began to wonder, was this really about Khaotic, or was Scrappy punished for refusing to play along with scripted drama? The controversy reached such a boiling point that the network itself had to respond. In a rare move, they released a short statement saying the safety and well-being of our cast and crew is our highest priority. While we appreciate Mr. Richardson's contributions to the franchise, we stand by our decision. But the statement only made things worse. Fans flooded the network's social media pages with comments demanding answers, accusing them of gaslighting the audience and hiding the real story. By this point, Scrappy had remained silent, letting the storm swirl around him. That silence only fueled speculation that he was planning something bigger. And if Erica's cryptic warnings were true, then Scrappy's next move could shake the industry to its core. Because in the world of reality TV, silence is never permanent. It's the calm before the storm. And everyone knew Scrappy's storm was still coming. For days, Scrappy's silence spoke louder than any words could. Fans refreshed his Instagram page hourly, waiting for a statement, a post, even a cryptic emoji, but nothing came. The man who had built his career on unfiltered emotion and raw honesty had suddenly gone radio silent. And that silence was deafening. Behind the scenes, however, rumors swirled like wildfire. Blogs claimed Scrappy was quietly assembling a legal team. Others whispered he was negotiating with rival networks like Zeus or Bet for an exclusive sit-down interview. And then came the most explosive rumor of all. Scrappy had recordings unseen, unedited footage from Love and Hip Hop sets exposing just how much of the reality was scripted and manipulated by producers. It started with one anonymous Twitter account that claimed, "Scrappy about to end VH1. Wait till y'all see the tapes." That post racked up tens of thousands of retweets. And suddenly the hashtag Scrappy Tapes was trending worldwide. Fans went into investigative overdrive, digging through old episodes for clues. Some swore Scrappy had hinted about being forced into fake storylines before. Others pointed to Erica Dixon's viral rant, where she said, "Y'all don't even know the half of what goes on behind those cameras." To fans, that was proof. Enough, the tapes were real, and Scrappy was biding his time before dropping them. Meanwhile, the tension with Khaotic wasn't cooling down either. While Scrappy stayed quiet, Khaotic leaned into the moment, mocking Scrappy on social media with posts like, One man's downfall is another man's upgrade. He even posted a photo of himself on set with the caption, "Still standing." Still booked, fans flooded his comments with snake emojis, calling him the reason Scrappy lost everything. But what nobody expected was what came next. Out of nowhere, a leaked audio clip surfaced online. It was grainy, muffled, but the voices were unmistakable. Scrappy and a producer. In the clip, Scrappy could be heard angrily refusing to film a cheating storyline, saying, "I'm not finna let y'all play me on TV no more. Y'all already had me looking crazy with Erica with Bambi. I'm done. I'm not doing this fake S asterisk asterisk." Asterisk, the producer's voice, calm but firm, replied, "Scrap. You either play ball or you're done here." That clip alone sent shockwaves through the industry. Fans flooded social media with comments like, "So it was scripted." And Scrappy didn't get fired for threatening Khaotic. They just used it as an excuse. Within hours, gossip, blogs, YouTube channels, and even mainstream outlets picked up the story. And suddenly, the firing looked less like punishment and more like retaliation. And just when fans thought it couldn't get any crazier, Scrappy finally broke his silence. He went live on Instagram late at night. Thousands of fans flooding into the stream within seconds. Sitting in a dimly lit room, his face serious and his voice steady, Scrappy said, "They thought I was going to fold. They thought I was going to cry and beg for my job back. But nah, I don't need them no more. I've been on this show since the jump, and I gave them everything: my family, my pain, my music, my mistakes, and how they repay me. They try to make me a clown. They try to control my life. Well, guess what? I ain't done. I got proof. I got receipts. And when I drop it, y'all gone? See the truth?" The comments exploded instantly, fire emojis, shocked faces, and fans begging him to release the tapes. But before he revealed anything more, Scrappy ended the live with one final line that sent chills across the internet. "Next season ain't theirs. It's mine. Stay tuned." That cliffhanger was enough to ignite total chaos. Bloggers scrambled to predict Scrappy's next move. Was he about to launch his own reality show? Was he signing with Zeus to tell his side of the story uncensored? Or was he planning to expose the entire Love and Hip Hop franchise in a tell-all documentary? Even the network panicked. Anonymous insiders leaked to gossip pages that executives were bracing for impact and considering legal action if Scrappy released confidential footage. But fans didn't care. They were already chanting, "Drop the tapes," across every platform. Meanwhile, Erica Dixon and Bambi both posted cryptic messages on Instagram, further fueling speculation. Erica's read, "The truth always comes out. Sometimes you just gotta wait." Bambi's post was even more direct. "When he speaks, the whole industry gone shake." Khaotic, never one to stay quiet, posted a mocking video where he laughed and said, "Ain't no tapes." That boy just mad he lost his job. But fans weren't buying it. The overwhelming majority believed Scrappy was sitting on explosive evidence and the countdown had already begun. As blogs dissected every word of Scrappy's livestream, one thing became clear. This wasn't just about a fight anymore. This was about power, control, and exposing the dark underbelly of reality TV. And Scrappy, whether intentionally or not, had positioned himself as the whistleblower the audience didn't know it needed. The only question now is this: will Scrappy actually release the tapes, or was his live stream just a bluff to regain leverage against the network? Either way, the cliffhanger was set. Fans were hooked, the industry was on edge, and Love and Hip Hop Atlanta's future had never been more uncertain. Because in reality TV, drama is everything. But this time, the drama might just destroy the very empire it was built on. And if Scrappy really does drop those tapes, the entire Love and Hip Hop universe will never be the same again. Family, this right here is where things get real. We've watched Lil Scrappy rise, fall, and now face the biggest crossroads of his entire career. But the question remains, is this the end of Scrappy on Love and Hip Hop? Or is it just the beginning of something even bigger? Will he come back? Stronger with his own platform, dropping those so-called tapes that could burn the entire franchise to the ground? Or was that late-night live stream just a bluff to keep the spotlight on him a little longer? The truth is, no one knows for sure, not even the insiders who swear they've seen the receipts. But one thing is guaranteed. The moment Scrappy makes his next move, the internet will explode. And that's where you come in. I want to hear from you. Do you think Scrappy's silence is part of a bigger plan to expose the show once and for all? Should Rashida, Bambi, and Erica rally behind him? Or is Scrappy digging his own grave by going up against the same machine that made him famous? And most importantly, if Scrappy really drops those tapes, would you still watch Love and Hip Hop the same way again? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading every single one of them because trust me, this is only the beginning. And if you thought this season was wild, wait until the fallout from this scandal hits. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and smash that like if you want the tea hotter. The story's deeper and the drama messier than ever before. Because when Scrappy speaks again, you better believe we'll be right here, breaking it all down for you first. Stay tuned, family. The storm is just getting started.